Welcome to Alchemical Science. I'm Jordan, an open source researcher and a student of the Australian inventor and vortex fusion specialist Malcolm Bendall. So as you may be aware, I've been over in North Carolina, USA for Cosmic Summit 2024, where the big unveil and testing of Malcolm Bendall's Thunderstorm generator took place last weekend. So I just got back to my homeland of Australia a couple days ago. I'm still very jet lagged, so that's why I look like a zombie and probably sound like one too. But if you missed the conference, don't worry. Aside from the video on demand, which you can get on the Cosmic Summit website, which has all of the on-stage stuff, Alchemical Science also has you covered. We've got tons of footage here. So we've got hours of raw, uncut footage from the event to go through. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing all of that here on the channel as I get time to process it. So like I said in my last video, there's no gatekeeping here. My wife Emma flew in especially so we could capture everything that happened and share it with you all. And a couple of generous guests also shared their footage from the weekend with me. So thank you guys. Particularly special thanks to Roger Green from breakthroughtechnologies.com, who provided me with a massive dump of raw footage from the whole weekend that he took. So while I was there, Roger also invited me to attend part of the Symposium that he's running in the Czech Republic in September, Alchemy of Prague and Advanced Energy Systems. So I'll be coming along for at least the Brno leg of this tour, and I want to give it a shout out to anyone else who might be interested. So Bob Grenier and Paul Harris will be doing workshops. There'll be practical laboratory alchemy, walking tours of historical significant alchemical buildings and towns, and it will be all fused in with the advanced technology side as well, as the title suggests. So please get in touch with them at this email if you're interested in attending, and I'll hopefully catch you there. All right, in today's video, the first focus is to get to the uncut footage of the trials of the official Thunderstorm generator control unit that Malcolm brought along. But that is not the only thing that happened this weekend. We'll be covering much more over the coming weeks. So let me just give you a quick 2-minute rundown on everything that we'll be covering in the future videos that I'll be releasing before we get to the Thunderstorm generator trial footage. All right, so we'll just show the test results up front so that nobody has to wait for those. These results were achieved at Cosmic Summit, not using the bubbler or the ionizer unit. Both of these were broken during the tests, and you'll hear about that a little bit in the video, and there'll be more about that later. But they're really good results, excellent results, in fact. And next we have the fuel consumption and emissions reduction test done at 60 Hertz on the 6th of the 24th, 2024. So we can see the gas analysis results: carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrous oxides all reducing in the TSG test compared to the baseline. And then we can also see the fuel run in seconds based on using 10 mil of fuel. And so we can see a 19.45 difference there. And this test wasn't done at Cosmic Summit. This was done afterwards. No fuel tests were done at the summit, primarily because of the sabotage on the machines, but they were done here after. And there's going to be more test results coming very soon. UK government certified tests are being done tomorrow. So we should have those out in the not too distant future as well to follow up on the Cosmic Summit results. right, so we're going to be showing all of that over the coming weeks. Please keep in mind that you can already catch Malcolm Bendall's presentation, as well as my own, Bob Greenier's, Randall Carlson's, Johanna James, and every other speaker on the main stages, as well as Malcolm Bendall's Monday classroom on the Cosmic Summit video on demand service on their website. So the link is in the description to purchase those tickets. It's very reasonable for the amount of content you're getting, and you can watch it forever. I did hear a few people were having issues connecting just after the event. I hope that's resolved now. I was able to get on fine last night. I think maybe the server was just a bit overwhelmed, but at any rate, I'm sorry I'm unable to help with that. That's something that the Cosmic Summit team will need to deal with. And also, just one last quick thank you. All of you people who came to say hi and introduce yourselves and say the channel's helped you in some way or just to hang out, like, seriously, thank you. I was really touched by just how many of you came out to meet us. I had some of the best conversations I've ever had, and I met some of the best people I'll probably ever meet. So I salute you all. Highlight of the trip. And also thanks for the gifts that some people gave me as well. I'm going to give you guys a shout out in future videos, so wait out for that. The craziest part of all, though, is that about 10 of you approached me that have already built your own Thunderstorm generators using my DIY build guide. One guy had even built 6 of them. He just got his welder to whip them up. So I know some of you have already got them working just fine, so please, everyone, send over your footage. I can keep you anonymous if you'd prefer, but it's even better if you want to run through personally on the video and explain your build on camera. Send it into my email. I'll open source whatever you send in, or I'll give a shout out to your channel if you prefer. Just upload the footage, let me know where it is, and let's send people there. So cool. Thanks, guys. I didn't really know how many people were building it. I knew a few people were saying they were, but okay, you guys, you went and built it. That's made my weekend. On to the main focus of this video now, though, the live trials of the Thunderstorm generator. So I'm not going to give too much commentary on this. We are lucky to have practically full unabridged recordings of everything that went down, thanks to Emma and Roger primarily, so it can mostly speak for itself. But let me just explain briefly what happened so you don't need to get lost in the footage trying to work it out. First, I'll play the footage from the Sunday trial, and we'll get to the Monday trial footage afterwards, and I'll stop to make a separate commentary again there. So onto the Sunday, there was a control engine. This is just an unaltered standard petrol generator. And then there was another engine which was retrofitted with the Thunderstorm generator. And they're both the same make and model of engine, and neither engine had ever been run before this. They were virgin engines that did not contain oil or petrol up until the point of the trial. So the engines had been set up as per all the manufacturer's official specifications, as the same units will be undergoing government and manufacturer certified testing next week, which Malcolm talks a little bit about in the video, so I won't go into it more. The control generator was run first, as you will see, and it smelled like a generator does. It stunk up the whole place. The generator with the Thunderstorm generator was run next, and again, as you'll see on the gas analyzer results in the footage, the carbon emissions were significantly reduced while oxygen was increased, as is expected, as per usual. However, there was a catch. The bubbler, the second unit of the complete setup, where the plasmoids are generated, just didn't end up working at all, which means the UV ionization chamber was also not doing anything at all either, of course. So the results we saw were produced just by the Vajra part, just by the Thunderstorm generator, the 2 connected stainless steel spheres, which house the opposing vortexes of the Thunderstorm. And again, that's not unexpected, that it still produced a really decent result with only the Vajra working. No bubbler or ionization unit. Malcolm's always been aware that the Vajra can be pre-charged or conditioned with plasmoids, as it was here, at which point the device will continue to work temporarily, even with the bubbler detached. So the Vajra can hold its charge for years even. Plasmoids find a home in the cubic structure of the ion, and they're quite happy to stay there until they're needed to bring the system back to homeostasis again at another point, like when it's turned on. So we've spoken about this in several videos in the past, not new information. It's also been covered over on the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project channel several times too, I think with Malcolm on the channel as well. So anyway, the bubbler, it didn't work, but the trial was a success anyway. So it showed that not only does the Thunderstorm generator do what Malcolm Bendall says it does, but it can do it even when it's broken. So the next question is, of course, why was it broken? The answer sucks, but it's simple. The machine was sabotaged in 3 places. Very likely the night before in the unlocked room it was stored in. And I've decided I'm not going to lead in with that though. The trial went fine anyway, so I don't want to get too bitter about sabotage when it doesn't really matter. So let's play the footage from the trial, and then I'll talk about the sabotage, why the engine was in an unlocked room in the first place, why you may have seen me storming around on Monday like an angry, half-starved lion, and I'll also play some footage showing what happened to the engines. We'll deal with all of that. But for now, here is the footage. Sit back and enjoy. I'll make some choice cuts later that just show the interesting parts if you can't be bothered watching all of this. But in the spirit of being open source, I wanted to post the whole lot first. Let's review it together.
No gas yet until we've got water. They're full of oil. Gas in the water and Malcolm wants it all just up.
Hi, so this is 2 Honda generators. One that has been unmodified other than to take the baffler off and put an exhaust port on for testing. And the other of the same diameter. And then this is a modified generator with the TSG and the bubbler and the light unit on it. And I don't even think this has actually ever been run, so this is the first time run of this build. And we're going to look at the output from the unmodified generator and then the modified generator with a gas analyzer. And we'll see what it shows. And then hopefully other people have got their own tests that they want to do. Excellent, okay. Well done. So if you can, I'd like to get that on camera as well.
I've got 2 vectors. One will show us the exhaust. Okay. The second I'll use to show the more clean air coming out. Right. Okay. Cool. Should be cool.
We're looking forward to it.
Has anyone else got some test equipment that want to run on the devices? We've got one guy here. Anyone else? Anyone else? Have you got any test equipment
to run on the devices? We've got one guy here.
So I'm just going to, just waiting 1 minute, so but what I'll do is I'll be explaining to you that we wanted these to be virgin engines, never been run. First time with oil in it, first time with petrol in it, because if you run an internal combustion engines with this technology, it will charge the engine and you will never get the proper zero. You'll never get the baseline, because there'll be a 50% reduction in the carbon monoxide by the engine just looking at it. So basically, for the interest of science and integrity, is that we're following a scientific method. We have a virgin engine, never used, so therefore it hasn't been infused with plasmoids. We have a separate engine, excuse me, that's over there, which is will be a standard engine. We will never run plasmoids in that, and it cannot be run at the same time as the other engine because it will be capable of infusing plasmoids. Okay, so basically that will run separately. We will get a baseline from that engine, but once this engine is run, it will never have a baseline again. 2 times I've been totally embarrassed because as they're going, okay, here we go, now we're going to turn the valve on, right? And so here's the valve, no change, because it had been infused with plasmoids, so for 20 minutes it'll give the same result, even if it's sitting for 8 years. It's a battery that will hold its charge for 8 years. If it's a 24-inch sphere, it'll be discharged in about 20 minutes. If it's our little turbo stubby, it'll discharge in about 5 minutes. What that means is that the net negative charge of the plasmoids being generated in the thunderstorm, the plasmoid generator here, so this is the bubbler, which creates imploding bubbles. Star in the Jar, look it up, 1934. Oppenheimer and Schneider paper on collapsing bubbles, 1939, reality check, 19 years ago. So basically, when this system is turned, when we first run this system, we will run it through the system here, which means that it's going to be exactly the same journey, except that this is spinning anti-clockwise in and anti-clockwise out. Right, so now these are new additions that maybe people haven't seen before. We have worked for the last, I think it's 4 months now, with the UK government and the contractors and with the manufacturers of the gas analyzer equipment, because we wanted to have a standard, right? A standard agreed method of taking the samples, right? Opinions don't count here, facts do. The manufacturers know what they build. The scientists know through experience what geometries and what measurements and the pace in which they're taken. So this measurement, these things here have all been specified. We built this to the specification of the authorities that are going to do the test on the 28th of June. Right, so that is with qualified people who have liaised with the government, and the government has also liaised with them, and the manufacturers of the machines that will be used, those machines will come and have 1 day of calibration in London. That is, they bring their calibration gases, this is how sensitive it is, and they calibrate it, and then they don't move it. It takes 1 day to calibrate it. So it's serious science, right? So, and as far as the integrity of it goes, it's the most you can do. The next day, they will run the test, and they will put their analysis equipment. Plus, we have a little pinhole here. Where is our Mr. Lush?
Over there.
Can we find our cord? Sorry.
You plug in the charger.
So we just have a little bit of testimony here, because this is a very, very significant development just before we came here. George has been doing the annealing, but this is really critically important. These are the analysis points from the manufacturers, not an opinion, a layman's opinion, an expert opinion, right, from qualified mechanics. Right? So, and from people that have had, literally their companies, hundreds of years of experience in building analytical equipment. And so, but what we added to that was a first, and it actually produced a result which was quite extraordinary, is that we have always been having the gas analysis, and then you tweak everything and you try and get it tuned, because this is not an exhaust pipe. Right? I want to just get rid of that myth. Right? Everyone that works on it uses an exhaust pipe. Oh, it doesn't matter if we just attach this here, and oh, it doesn't matter what this is like there. No, it's a musical instrument. It's like getting a trumpet, running it over with your car and expecting it's going to play. No, it will not. It uses resonant frequencies that are not negotiable. Right? The universe, argue with it at your peril. Right? Observe nature and copy it, but also observe, if you don't observe nature, it'll soon tell you about it, right? So observe nature and copy it. So what we did was, George, we put a little hole in here, and
so it's just standard brass fittings, because that's what we could get hold of. Drilled a 2mm hole, put in a 2mm type N thermocouple, all calibrated to AMS 2750. Industry standard pyrometry for aerospace heat treatment. That's what we will record to. And then put a thermocouple in, made a little Teflon seal on it, insert it all the way, and then pull back ½ an inch so the tip was right in the gas flow. This was all done in a big hurry in London, on a long neck one, stubby, and the extra short one. And there hasn't been time to collate and present all the data. I've got it. I'd like to speak about it later, but it's got to look right. It's a mess. Maybe it slides to Monday, but it's been so short a time. Anyhow, the point was, we did a survey on all the salient points on the generator, type N thermocouples everywhere, and each one was done at the same point over and over again. So we ran it up, got all the temperatures, how it was behaving, what it was doing, so we know exactly. And this is aerospace standard. I mean, the front of the chart recorder's got a QR code, you can zap it, you can see that it's in date because it will just come up on the certificate. So I'm happy to stand on that the pyrometry is the truth. But the one thing that complicates it is, that we haven't considered, is that by having all these thermocouples on it, they were grounding and earthing away a load of the field and interfering with it. So we're confident that the temperatures, they're definitely the truth and the right. But we've run this already on a generator in London, and it had given the 20% oxygen reading, so we know it was running really well. And then when it was tested just for thermal behaviour, just to find out what was going on, it was down to about 16%. So we know that something's interfering, but we're seeing that again this morning on the Chevrolet test, where one half was about 100 degrees C hotter than the other half. And it didn't warm up, it didn't change, the whole thing soaked through and even up. And we had another guy, but there is, the gentleman there, he was getting the same nature of results, that the gas coming through here, and it was all 195 degrees, I think, at about the point where it was coming out of the exhaust manifold, coming across. And what to you here is the back half was about 100 degrees C hotter than the front half. So the gas is going round as it's going round, and until an hour ago I had no idea about this. Drops 100 degrees here, jumps up 100 degrees again here, drops 100 degrees here, and it's a really sharp line. I've got the thermal camera footage of it, and it doesn't warm up. It just jumps up, and it doesn't cool down over a few minutes of the arc. It just goes off 100 degrees. So you figure however many thousand RPM that gas is spinning round, up 100, down 100, up 100, down 100 as it's swirling round. So that's another totally new one on me. I'm not going to explain it. I have no idea how and why it's doing that. It's just another on the long list that I don't understand. That's why I said yesterday, well, shows what I know.
Malcolm.
So that's what it's doing. I just wanted to say, Josh, so what the big discovery was, which is revolutionary for this technology, they got the internal couple, right? Because when we put it in, an extraordinary thing. What we've been doing, the main point.
I'm still dazzled by that thing on the truck this morning. The couple was in there, and we know it was dead in the centre of the gas flow. And then Malcolm was adjusting the lever valve, which is pretty coarse. So it was just being played just up and down, trying to get the sweet spot of
within a millimetre
where the bubbling is optimal, and it's all by feel. There's no computer control going on here. And then on the chart records, there was a big temperature kick, and that looks to be the sweet spot.
So the maximum temperature, you can just wait till you run through the maximum temperature for res. You're matching the frequency of the engine to the frequency of time. And when those frequencies match, my contention is you're dilating and contracting time, accelerating and reversing time. So that's my contention, and so basically that's what I believe. And so what happened was, we now on an engine, all we need is a thermocouple here, and when that goes to maximum temperature, we know that's the minimum amount of carbon monoxide, minimum amount of carbon dioxide, minimum amount of hydrocarbons, and the maximum amount of oxygen to almost atmospheric. We had this morning on the car, right, from 4% oxygen to 20.5%.
Because I was going to say, what are you getting?
That was only, and the baseline was 20.95.
Yeah, quiet.
Yeah, so the baseline was 20.95. So basically what we said here, so this means that you can put a computer in, you don't have to have any frequency thing. When that is at a maximum, you have your best performance. And it's simple. So therefore, whether it's a step change, you go up in octaves, you can bring the engine up in octaves and race between the octaves, or you can simply have a gearbox that would then keep it at its constant speed at that rev, so you have maximum horsepower and maximum performance. So this is a new thing. Right.
Everything is so far beyond me.
Can you also show the general flow direction of the gases?
Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're taking the air in this part here, which has just got a non-ionizing and light globe. I did try it with ionizing, but then deferred to Bob's knowledge there, Bob Greeno, is that the oxygen is, if you don't ionize it, 18,000 times is that right? Electromagnetic force.
Yeah,
Field.
17,000. It's a lot more paramagnetic.
A lot more, yeah.
You
So,
don't
but if you
ionize
ionize it, 500 Bob. Is that right? Right.
Yeah, they're 300 or 500,
Yeah.
whether it's atomic. Like-
So anyway, the bottom line is the big gorilla in the ring is the oxygen. 18,000 times more powerful. So I can pick up that hydrogen and just whack it, right? So, you know, there's no contest, right? So basically, so we have this. I did with ionization, there's a different result, so, which is interesting, but just to keep on going, so if that gets sucked through.
Malcolm, because I've never been able to do it because our spectrometer go on, can you run a test with the ionizer on and look at the levels, and without the ionizer on? Because I personally want to see if it makes an effect.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah.
Okay. And repeatable science.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might get that sooner than you wish, because we're not sure about the bulb because it knocked on the door frame coming out. So it could be a test, run out to Lowe's,
An
get a
accidental
bulb,
test,
and then go again.
So this is a very important test that you're witnessing, because fortunately we have a brand new engine, never been run, so it's not infused with plasmoids, and here we have a brand new engine, never been run. We're going to put oil, petrol and oil in this, right? So that, and we will test the composition of the gas coming out of here, right? So that'll be a base test. As I said, we won't touch that again, because this will always be our base, right? Because once this is infused with plasmoid, you cannot get a base. So the air goes through here. Now, contrary to popular belief, it is actually technically not sucked through by the vacuum, but actually the vacuum creates a pressure difference, so the atmospheric air pushes through these holes to try and equalise, pushes its way through the water, and then because the engine's pulsing and because the valves are opening and closing, and another important point which is subtle, that the piston is measuring, it's a measuring device. It's measuring the same volume, right, of air coming in. You cannot change that. Now this myth that somehow the piston becomes twice as long, you know, and can pull more air in, or that the piston gets shorter is wrong. And it does the same amount of suction as it does compression and push. So it's a measuring device. It's subtle, but this is very important. Time is equal, 8 times 9 times 10, 720, the sacred geometry, times 10 times 9 times 8, the 3-step pyramid is 518400, the number of time. It's always equal and opposite numbers. 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6, times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is alchemy. It's the mirror image, what that we lost. That was a deliberate lie to society to make sure we lost 80% of our language, make sure we lost 80% of our maths, and the maths is the basis of our physics and chemistry. So if you read my notes, my contention is that we are going back to the Stone Age. We are not getting further advanced, we are actually degrading. Right? When you lose your pictorial language because it takes too long to write, you've lost a third of your language. When you lose the fact that each number has a corresponding letter, you've lost another third of your language. And then you can just then put together several languages and mix them all up, which English is, and then you've really lost the plot. Right? So basically, what my attempt has been, and this is just a manifestation of one truth, but the point is that with my notes here, and I'll challenge this society, why did we lose this shape? The most important shape in the universe, it is a time crystal. How did we lose that? You know, how many people have seen that before? Right? And what is it? It is simply on the basis that if you do 90 degrees, you get a cube. If you do 45 degrees, you get a pyramid up and pyramid down, by the way, with a mirror plane and a mirror plane. And this has got mirror planes as well. You put it on a mirror. It's 11.5, so in the 22, yeah, there you go. So okay, and so this is the two shapes, right, that we lost, which I'm introducing at this conference back into society. No, I didn't. Stealing. Intellectual fraud. Yeah? So, okay, this is the model of the elements, which is based on this. Why? This is a truth. This is a truth, right? So they're both like angles on the truth. This is sacred geometry. Why? Because if you take this division, that's every angle that energy reports to. And if you put a 24-hour clock at the 0 point and a compass at the 0 point, then 24 hours is 0 hours. If I say I'm going to meet you at every second in the whole day, there is no band, right? And if you've got a compass, then if you have all compass, you have none. If you have all frequencies of light, and when we were kids, we draw a little on our crayons and we draw a little rainbow and we put it on a thing, we spin it and it turns white. When you go to science class, it splits up light into its separate frequencies, right? This is what this is. And the model of the elements here shows all of the colours, yeah, that represent colour, sound, and I would recommend that everyone goes and sees Sheena's presentation, which will be at 4 o'clock, right, in the small room, which we might have to move to the big room, right, because it is a secret. She has confirmed that this is correct. That is, that the resonant frequency energy unit, 129,000, is a stable node. And you can put 32 frequencies on top of it, and it's still stable. Right, and it's the flower of life, it's a secret of geometry, it's a link between all things. So on this you have the 25,920 great year, which is 12 periods of 2,160 years. So everyone's born in a different zodiac sign. We last, for each zodiac sign is 2,160 years. The diameter of the moon is 2,160 miles. It travels its own diameter every hour. Right, so it means in 12 hours it's travelled the 25,920 years of the precession of the equinox. And 2592 is the melting point of protium, which no one knows is actually the element that the sun's made of, because hydrogen is a lie. It's a group, it is not an element. I spoke to every chief scientist in the world, and the Australian scientist said, I thought protium was a flower. I said, no, that's protea, right? So here we have a society that doesn't even know what the sun's made of, and we think we're smart. No, we're not smart. We lost our heritage because it was stolen from us. And this is the truth. This is the unification model. The only things that Nikola Tesla and Einstein agreed on is that the man that made this model would have the metric to have limitless power, right? And ball lightning is a mechanism by which you transmute one element to the other and release energy, but it has a non-radiated boundary, so it's no pollution, or I should say has pollution, but it's self-contained and even is kept as energy. But anyway, I digress.
Right.
So
We should start the machine.
Okay, so the machine is based on this. This is why I went to it. This is a 432 sphere. This is a 432 sphere. That means it's 864. That's 86,400 seconds in a day. The moon square is 8,640 miles. Right, so basically it's resonance itself. And a 4-inch sphere, a 3-inch sphere, and a 2-inch sphere, which are inside this, means that it's the 51.84 square inches. Now the Ark of the Covenant, which was, if you look at King Solomon, and the Ark of the Covenant was atomic battery, which I'm now announcing will be coming back, right? So that battery is the fact that plasmoids can store energy, right? So they're structured plasma, right? So this device is basically has left and right hand spin, male and female, clockwise and anti-clockwise. So the exhaust is expanding and accelerating time, and the intake is contracting and reversing time. So that creates a time dilation, which is energy, right? In fact, so basically the amount of energy in this is only being infused by the fact that this engine's only 33% efficient. When you go to the gas station and you buy, excuse me, focus. Yeah. So when you go to the gas station and you're buying $100 worth of petrol, $66 is wasted as heat. This thing is only recovering half of that to have the same energy as the motor. And that's what people don't understand. Oh, it's all for energy. No, you idiots, you paid for it. But I'm just giving half back to you. I'm sorry I haven't got the other half, but if I did that, your engine would blow up. Right? So, which you've already done, but anyway, that's another story. So the point is that it's not, and if you keep this and match the volumes so you don't overdrive it, so you don't see filaments of electromagnetic field coming out of it, right, which we did see filaments, by the way, last night on the truck, yes, around there. So we did manifest here at this conference filaments the same as the sun, escaping from the surface of the sun, right, those flares, right, solar flares, same principle, structured plasma, plasmoids, variants, right, many variants. But so basically the bottom line is, the truth of the matter is that it's a waste energy recovery system. I want everyone to realise that. But the unique part about it is that the claim is that energy is being absorbed by the plasmoids, so it can be, they're net negative because this is a water system, so they can discharge those plasmoids, yeah, in the combustion chamber. When you have a positive charged flash come from the spark plug, it discharges the plasmoids first, and then you get the burn front on the petrol. So basically, sorry? Okay. So just go one more. So this system then, when the exhaust comes out, it spins. When it comes out here, and these ports will be, as I said, that's why we're demonstrating it now, so we have the same ports at the same time. We will be able to repeat the experiments in London, and we will issue those experiments. Yeah. Now, to say all the work that Bob's done on the 24-inch spheres that ran for 500 hours on natural gas, we had the crenulated iron spheres and the sulfur, which are products of ball lightning. Right. So basically, it means that there's enough energy in the system, and to hopefully do the catalytic conversion, but not do anything that would be dangerous. So no escaping filaments, and that, so you can match the machine to be correctly balanced. Yeah. So now we'll fill it up with petrol and oil while you're here, so that everyone can see.
Just say from a safety point of view.
Yeah,
So everybody
back.
take 10 steps back.
Yeah.
And did somebody get the fire extinguishers? There's somebody run inside and get a couple the fire extinguishers.
We have some in hotel. They're behind you.
And on site. That's a very small 10 yards.
My house.
Yeah, exactly. All the things like possibly denied to my life are dangerous. And this one
Joanna, will you get him to tell us where he sells his book? We can't any of us find out.
Oh, you're talking about the notes?
Yeah, the notes.
Yeah, it's not for sale yet. Yeah,
But they are on the Strike Foundation website.
yeah. The notes are all on the
So
website
you've
for
got the
download.
digital
The PDF.
version,
Yeah,
but it's not printed yet, but it's free on the Strike Foundation all over the world.
yeah. StrikeFoundation.com. Yeah. It's Strike Foundation. Just look up Strike Foundation. Yeah. They just have all PDFs. Yeah. You got downloaded.
All about geometry.
Has everyone got their earplugs?
That's what I was just noticing.
No one's suing anyone. I'm independent, but I just don't want Malcolm to be sued. Not being able to hear.
The can still feels pretty cool, isn't it? No, there's a filter there, I can't see you going.
Oh, those are at least, yeah.
Is this designed to be the most inefficient thing? I hate those things. The longer somebody can be holding a can of gas open for safety.
I think he's got it tucked on the edge. Yeah, he's got it sliding back. Maybe not anymore. Yeah, they got those safety stoppers now. It's such bullshit, man. I don't use them anymore. I just put a siphon in these days. Just hold it high and siphon it, dude.
He's British. He doesn't know about our regulation bullshit.
Yeah. Maybe somebody from the States should go up there and gas it up. Yeah,
Because we're not smart enough to understand why.
anything cute?
We have a towel. Yeah, we need a towel. Does it really need that much? Can somebody grab it for that? Towel. I would recommend moving 50. Thank you. I've seen a petrol explosion.
Sinking the revs to the resonance of the exhaust comes out the side of the
Near enough?
Yeah, you said there was a 2-inch atmosphere inside of that. And there's some sort of
There's 4.5 gallons in each can.
It's gotta be like next to
Just to get a... But again, why not design a lift that doesn't...
We have to watch the quality of the fuel.
Yeah, they did that live on Japan in '73. that thermal this morning, that was, yeah, understand.
I know mine is basically the same engine as the same.
Yes, it's going to be as loud as it's possible. Yeah. You're going to get the full experience. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd rather like
Focus, focus, focus. Here is the zeroed out gas that I'd like everyone to take witness to. This is atmospheric levels that of oxygen with some, of course, fuel vapor, which I don't know where it's come from. So 16 parts per million, Your Honour. 33 now, so the wind must have changed. I'll move over here a bit. So basically, we have 0.0% CO2, 0.01% CO. Thank you for the crowds. There you go. So basically, there's some things blowing around here from the cars. Yeah. So anyway, so yeah. So this is the. Everyone can witness to the veracity of the results, because this has zeroed itself, and it has a computer program, which means you cannot defraud it. If it's not within its parameters that it recognizes, it will not turn on. Right, so you can't, this is an anti-fraud machine for racing industry. So you can't fabricate the results, and so it will turn off every 10 minutes. So we have to have a fairly short run, less than 10 minutes. So, but I'd just like everyone to see that, so we can get a record and witnesses as to what our baseline is, which is very important. Yeah. So now, we have our caller outerer, right? So I suppose we can start now. We know that the hydrocarbons are just messing around here, so with all the fuel that's been happening. So basically we'll put the choke on here, which it is. We'll turn this on, if I can figure out how to do it. Oh, look, it's even got a little switch. Okay.
Brand new.
Brand new. Did you take that off to you, or is that?
No, it's a safety.
Before, oil's in it?
Oil, both check, they're full.
Okay, good, okay. So here we have it. I think the direct train here might be good to make a little gap, because this is going to be just a little bit to the side, because this is, just let that get out. All right. This is the bad stuff you do not want to smell. This has carbon monoxide, which according to the box this came in, will kill you. It's not maybe kill you, it will kill you.
It says it 3 times.
Will kill you, maybe kill you. Okay, so hopefully it'll start. Oops. All right. Just check. Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Ready? Go. Okay. Take this bit of chuck off.
Is there a kill switch?
No,
Just
I
to
don't.
make sure it's set to run. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Thank you, that's it.
We're done.
You can have a few pulls now.
Me?
I'll go just different. That's fine now. Yeah, that was off before.
I don't want to hear any snarky comments about my technique.
So we put it onto choke again. What's that? Turn on the fuel. So now we know how it runs without fuel.
I will be speaking to my agent.
So all guys got.
Keep going, son.
Is that on?
You turned it on.
No, the switch. It was me. I was just going to watch him for 10 minutes and then go. Yeah. You want to read them out? Weren't you going to yell those out?
I can't hear you. He's going to read it out. Yeah, he's going to read it out. I'm going to use the gun to try and get it done.
Want to read this out? Sure.
Yell them out.
Yeah, so you yell them out, 6.1% CO2.
Carbon dioxide, 6.0%. Carbon monoxide, 7.57%. Oxygen, 4.554537. Hydrocarbons, 733.19 parts per million. The delta's 9.45, 9.52, right about 9.5.
Okay, so we have lethal, keep the gap. Lethal, I just want to get one more.
Oh, you can print it. That's fucking sick. Yeah, I didn't see you on the wireless printer for it. That's awesome.
Okay. So take note, 7.8% carbon monoxide. Okay, everyone's got a copy? Okay. So I just read this out, you can see it, it's on the printouts. So we have 6.2% carbon dioxide, we have 7.68% of carbon monoxide, which will kill you. Yeah? So you can put that in your window of your car, and you can go to. Oh, actually, it'll burn your skin. But anyway, we had the. And you see, it's coming back down now. What I will show, hopefully, I'll move away from here. We'll see this zero out again. Right, so we need to zero this monitor out because basically now, in one way, it's poisoned itself. So we'll just give this a little time. That is the baseline, and that is fantastic because we will keep that engine here in North Carolina as a baseline, and George Howard has his secret bunker, which he'll hide it in, when he takes his secret, like, not of that one, but it does give you some options. Ours,
please don't take my picture, I have a lot of warrants on it.
That's all right. Take the high visibility jacket off. We now know why he's wanted. So this will just calm down, let the air clean, because that engine's going to be, like the rest of it, is going to be sucking in on those fumes. That is dirty. I want people to take notice of, and I'm sorry I should have told you this before, your nose is a very, very sensitive hydrocarbon measuring device. You can trust your nose. When you smell something's not right, which was the smell you just smelt, you can smell it, and that, like if you're in an enclosed room, right, your eyes will start to water. You know, you could smell it. It's accurate, right? Now, what we've found is, and I say the caveat on this machine is, we have not run this before. The test work we're going to go into. So there's several things that can be wrong. 90% of the time, it only takes a tiny vacuum leak because it needs the extreme vacuum. When that piston pulls down, you want the absolute maximum vacuum. Unfortunately, it's difficult to obtain because most joins leak, even though you think they don't. So we've epoxied those up, thanks to Sam and Eli, and I think the Phil Dubois who's here, so he's his bender. Yeah. Anyway, pipe bender. So basically, I'm just run out of time now, which is good because it's good timing to actually cleanse the machine so it goes back to zero. Because that 7% carbon monoxide, sort of will linger around the machine. But one purge should do it, but we'll see fine. So what we found was, and this is just a thing, I think Bob spent an afternoon in with the machine with the Thunderstorm generator on it. You can't spend 5 minutes with that one in a closed room. It's as simple as that, and you can smell it, and it's not. And the thing is that it's accurate. The machine. George, you might as well bring that back here.
Well, I just wanted it away from that in case the minute is still coming off.
Oh, I
go ahead. There's a bit of tape on there sticking.
Okay, I can move back this way.
Yeah.
All right, now everybody take another 3 steps back.
We've got crowd creep again.
Behind me.
There is a curb and there is a law. Jaywalking. So basically now the machine is purging, so everyone can see that's the purge time. So it is cleaning itself, so that we'll be able to get a zero.
Is that just running a fan through that?
Yeah, it's just getting rid of the carbon, and it does sort of linger.
It's cleaning off the sensor. The sensor's got loaded, right? So you got to run fresh air through it to refresh the sensor.
So that's still, we've got 19 seconds to go now. this doesn't zero because it's got a tamper device in it. If it isn't zeroed, it won't. It'll just give dotted lines. It will not measure. So you cannot dope this machine and expect to get away with a good result. This just won't work. And this is under certification. I got the certification if anyone wants to see. And the so you can see that just for yourself that it is when it goes it's back to 0.
Yeah, with 0 group 0.
No. We only just went 0 on the hydrocarbon. Okay, so now we have 10 minutes running. Now, it takes 10 minutes for the bubbler to charge. It takes 10 minutes once the bubbler is charged for the... excuse me, focus. Focus. Down and focus. So this means that it's now, we've gone to 0 CO2, right on there. We have 0 carbon monoxide, so it's cleaned itself, just so that everyone knows. Right, it's all there. Right, it's done it. Right. Right. And we've still got the NOx has still been a bit tricky. It's 5 parts per million. So it's a bit poisoned. But I think the NOx is not that important for our general thing. But just so you know, that's anomalous. It should be 0. So, but anyway, I don't think it's worthwhile wasting any more time because we've got actually a 30-minute process. And as I say, if any one of these joints is leaking a vacuum, it will not work to the full extent it should do. And it's almost impossible to tell whether you've done it or not. This is the first trial, so you know, I can only ask forgiveness for any human error. Yeah, I won't be on the plasmoid. For any plasmoid error. So now we will donkey time. Now what I'll do is I will put this in the position, as you see, boldly, with no spanner to where the lucky is loose. Right. According to the manual, because this will be the side, so this will be the side to which, right, and design build. So that'll be the jack in which the London test work will be done. We will be testing exactly the same. This came from London, this is going back to London. And God knows why, because it's all wet. Anyway, I digress. So, I won't be going with it. Right? So basically, the reason for these designs is, well, just to meet their criteria, it's not my criteria. We meet their specifications. If that needs modification, it's a learning process. We are trying to learn what are the optimum conditions for plasmoids to propagate, what are the optimum positions to charge them, what are the optimum conditions to discharge them, and what artifacts does ball lightning produce, which ipso facto means that ball lightning is there. As Bob will tell you, the fact that you're getting artifacts and you're getting ball lightning doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting, it's a range of effects depending on the energy. Yep, so basically, we'll just run this, and you'll see, and we will print this out. I've got to have my scribe. Can you make sure that each one of these is scribed? Here's your run. And you should get into rough time there. So basically,
you need a charge card.
because our NOx has gone down to 3, so we're getting there. So there are millions of people a year killed by carbon monoxide poisoning, and that is a tragedy. And mainly in Africa, or people that are less privileged, lying on the floor and actually, just getting poisoned by the internal combustion engine. It is unnecessary, But as I said, people with tuk-tuks or little motorbikes can't afford to buy a catalytic converter, which is more than the cost of the bike. So in this idea, we produce this from the existing stainless steel of the existing muffler, and we're using that. Yeah. So we excuse me. Right, Australian cooey. Okay, we're down to 2 parts per million, so we're just about there. I just want to get and we're up to oxygen slowly climbing up as well. Yeah, so it's getting there. I'm going to print this. Okay, now we're going to start it. George? Happy? Yep. 5, 4. Vacuum. There is no bubbler. Right, look at that. Without the bubbler working, it still has a charge, which proves it works when it's not working. Because it was pre-charged. Now let me get a print of that. Isn't that amazing? Without the bubbler, because it's already charged. Can you map that up? What was... Might as good. Okay. Okay. In the stream. Yeah, it's very sensitive. Yeah. But here's the numbers. Numbers don't lie. Right. Now oxygen has gone up from 4% to 13. Carbon monoxide from 7% down to 0.25. Back up! Please back up! Back up! Right, I'll bring it to you. Back up! No UV light, no bubbler, no smell. No UV light, no bubbler, no smell.
Oh, there's no back.
Unbelievable, yeah. No, but, okay. So just, right, so what I wanted everyone to comprehend what just happened. The plasmoids can live, and I've tested it, up to 8 years because that's the maximum that we did. I took an old 24-inch Thunderstorm generator, and please, quiet on the set. Took a Thunderstorm generator, and actually, it was 8 years before we used it. We put it on. We had a 50% reduction in carbon monoxide. What we have here, this was operated in London, right? It's held its charge. It is an atomic battery, right? It is net negative charge, and it's run for long enough to not discharge. If we ran this for longer, then it would discharge and go back to the normal numbers. It'd go back to 7%, or maybe it was 7.5? What was the numbers there we had before? Oh no, on that one. Yeah. Just so to recap for everyone. So we were 7.65% carbon monoxide, and now we are down at 0.27. Right? No bubbler functioning. Right? No UV light. Right?
No bubbler, no UV. So only the Vajra.
Yeah.
That wasn't the test that was supposed to be performed, but it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so thank you. Right, so there you go.
What's O2, Malcolm?
The oxygen the oxygen was down at 5.9%. Let's see, 5.8%. The oxygen
went up to about 13.5.
Yeah, 13.5% from 5. So it's doubled. Yeah. Say?
13.78% oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah, from 7, yeah. So what's that? Almost doubled the amount of oxygen coming out.
From 7, was it?
With no bubbler, with no UV light, yeah, I suppose, and just doing it. Because it is with...
Can we run the test again with this in the correct port?
No, I changed it. I got both.
I know, but can we do it in that port
We can. No, we did. We started with it.
Yeah, can we do it again?
Yes, we can.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Do we want to fix the bubble?
It's the same results.
No, let's see if it changes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's good.
There's another data point.
But
this is the certified point to draw the gas from. This isn't.
we started with that, and I changed over to this.
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted, and what Bob's correctly said, is that this is discharging, and it will run out of charge soon.
But you said 20 minutes earlier. I think we're
No, only if it was Super Johnny that's got a dongle that's 24 inches long, right? But this one has only got 2 inches. It's embarrassing, but all I can say is it will only last for about 5 minutes. Now, I think the timing where you will see it degrade. Because what needs to happen is this is constantly putting water vapor through, and that would keep in the inside sphere a net negative charge, which is life-giving. It's implosion. It's concentrating force. Like my Charlene priest taught me, when you do a spear hand, you're concentrating the force. So you're taking a fist that's, from say 20 times the area of the tip of your finger, or maybe 30, depending on how thick your fingers are, and you're throwing it out. So that means that point is a force multiplier. So what you've got here is the force multiplier of where the water vapor comes in, it structures and it envelops. It is the covering of the it's the covering sheath of the plasmoid organism. So we'll start again. I'll just zero. Oh, sorry, we're zero. I'll zero out again, which is good too. We start from zero.
Substitute bulb.
Go back in the ballroom because we have 2 more speakers. You don't want to miss Ben. You don't want to miss Robert's shot, and then we can keep going with this after maybe. But yeah, we just, at the moment everyone's here, and we need to remember that there is speakers.
Okay, so now we're turning this off and on again, zeroing it again, and then we'll repeat this test. It will degrade. Well, maybe not. Maybe we've done something new.
So it's a stupid observation, but there's identical generators.
Confirming that those pressures and temperatures that are achieved by imploding microbubble are equivalent to that of the sun.
Fusion reaction.
So I thought that argument was settled in 1939, but hey, yeah, there's always one.
To have this smell, it's not supposed to be with the smell of too.
No, it's your responsibility. No, your responsibility. You wanted to put it in.
I don't know where it should be.
Ooh, that's a first. We have a first. Bob doesn't know where it should be. Is that to your satisfaction, sir? Do you want it deeper or shallower?
You had to do. We need to get back inside.
Yeah, that's the rumour.
Start it.
No, wait. Printer.
After the last conversation.
Okay. It's interesting. It had a little puff of that stuff and sucked out, and now it's down to zero.
Yeah. To prove that it was clean.
Yeah.
They purged it, says, yeah. Because it's got a purge setting on it, right?
Yeah, now we're getting little puffs of gas.
Yeah.
So again, we got, because it's in there, we do have some hydrocarbons and stuff registered now. That's fine. George, we'll go again.
Fingers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. I got it. First time, I got it. Oh, again. Whoa. Here we go. You saw it here on this channel. Good science, yeah? It's good that it didn't work, eh? We'll get the vacuum going and the light going, and then who knows what'll happen. What's it doing? It's not working. Okay, it's up. The temperature's up.
Yeah, so this is what we got here on the left side of the sphere.
Oh, right.
What we're reading on the right side of the sphere, which is about the same right now. Wait, I'm not getting it right.
I'll drive it for you. Can we have someone? Can you just hold that and show it to everyone? No, turn around. No.
Oh, you want me to do it?
No, that's right. No, can you hold that? Yeah. Just show everyone. Make sure it doesn't pull it out. That was with the choke on full. Right, as dirty as you can get, choke on full.
I was smelling warm metal, burning metal, not the carbon monoxide.
Yeah, and that was a choke on full. Right.
Zeroed out, yeah?
Amazing.
No, we got it.
North of 19% oxygen coming out.
Yeah.
This gentleman's got it filmed because we couldn't get the print.
19% oxygen. Hey George, the bubbler's not working. The UV light wasn't working. So, wait, quiet. Stop. Quiet, please, audience. So basically what happened here is historical. We ran a plasmoid generator for, and I'll get it, about maybe 2 or 3 hours. Notice the change in colour, right, of that thing. But anyway, we ran it in London. We charged it with plasmoids. Those plasmoids are the only thing that's doing the magic at the moment. I thought that they would deep dive, and they apparently didn't. But they got a mind of their own.
What about the internal rotating vortex that's bringing fresh air in?
Well, irrelevant, because basically the fact is that this has no water coming in. There is no vacuum.
If bomb now and put it in front of it, would it suck that stuff up?
All lies. All this. No. Okay. In a broken bubbler with the vacuum tube broken, it will suck in. Okay.
This one works. This one works.
This one.
I came all the way from Texas.
No. Please stop. Please stop. I have something to say. I have something to say first, right? This is relevant. No, after. Right? This is not appropriate time. I'm explaining that this is the Thunderstorm generator from London. It was pre-charged. We do not have any water vapor coming into the system. We have the same measuring points. We've tested both of them, right? So the two measuring points are consistent with what the test we're going to do in London, right? So, and this is without, so the point is that the results that we got before the Thunderstorm generator was put on, which is effectively the other machine that you all saw, right, were without the Thunderstorm generator on. Simply by putting the Thunderstorm generator on, right, and we have obtained, because it's the same, there is no water vapor in it. There is nothing different. It is simply running the exhaust gases that currently exist, run them in the exhaust gases that currently exist, we're running them through the same chambers, and you saw the result on the other one, right? The contrast in the results, over 7% carbon monoxide. Please quiet. So we run these through here. What we will be doing when we get this operating, because it would be dangerous, because I ran it full pelt, right, and we tested the two different things. You were all here, you saw what happened, right? What it is a historical occasion, because it's how many minutes were we here running it?
5, 10.
5, 10. So it was more than the 5 minutes I thought, right? It held the charge, right? And it did the business, right? So this has big implications, because that means you can pre-load the metal. It will only do that, as George Lush will tell you, when you do the proper annealing. And what's the other key ingredient, George? What do you do after you anneal it?
I couldn't possibly say.
You quench it with liquid argon. And when you quench it with liquid argon, you capture the perfect square. And the plasmoid sits inside that crystal lattice and absorbs all the energy. And it grows. Martin Fleischmann was correct. Martin Fleischmann has been vindicated today. Yeah, and I promised Martin Fleischmann that I would complete his work, and now nobody can deny the fact that this is a home for plasmoids. Amen.
19.55% oxygen.
From the one before?
Not running, no bubbles,
What was the other one before?
no light.
Baseline was 20.9.
No, the other one. Where's the other one?
That's our atmospheric.
No, wait. This is the other one.
Oh, you mean
it's
the
over
one
here,
without
yeah,
the TSG? No TSG.
Okay.
6-7%.
And that's 1% CO2. What have you got?
CO2 is 5.8%.
Carbon monoxide 0.06.
7.85%. Oh, sorry.
That's with the bubbler.
Oh, okay.
And that's the control.
Hydrocarbons 19 parts per million.
Okay. This is the. Which one's this then? This is
This is the one that you did first on this one. Or do you want the control?
No, what's the control?
No.
Yeah,
The other
control.
machine.
The other machine.
Yeah, the other machine.
Yeah, I've got this here. So.
Is it okay now to ask what of the internal tornado that's going into it of fresh air? Just what you're thinking. You don't have to have conclusions. But
No, I'm
what
just
of it?
okay.
It has
No, I want to finish this
I wasn't
first.
asking it to be a
No,
question.
afterwards. I'll finish this
I was
first.
asking it to inform.
Yeah, okay, yeah. After this, I'm just going to read these results, yeah. So it's fresh in everyone's mind. So basically, you had the 1%. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going back. I'll go back to the original one, so refresh everyone's memory. CO2, 5.8%.
1%.
CO, carbon monoxide, 7.85%.
0.06%.
O2, 5.27%.
19.55%. 19.55 with
Yeah.
no oxygen.
4
no
times the
no
level of
light.
oxygen. And so I would like people to do the balance, do the maths. If excuse me.
Where did it go?
Right, quite. So the balance is this. Oh dear, we've lost the carbon. Where did it go? Oh, look, the oxygen's gone up by the same amount. That's just a coincidence. You're crazy. No, the numbers don't lie. People do. Governments lie, right?
Last two.
Yeah, okay.
Hydrocarbons.
Yep.
What you got?
Hydrocarbons is 1,138.
19.
Okay, deep state, read it and weep. CO2, plant food, yes!
Hey George, let me grab a.
That's this gentleman's phone. He was when we had trouble with the printer.
Now the one that I had in Raleigh for 3 weeks, testing it in advance of this thing again.
That had a broken bubbler.
I understand. I'm not saying anything bad about it.
No,
I'm about saying
no.
something good about it. Hold on.
Good.
Okay. We were very surprised because we'd spent a lot of time seeing it work very well in other locations, and we were able to get the CO2, which is generally the most stubborn, and it's order of magnitude off right now of what it should be. We were able to get it another order of magnitude down to 0.1. Right? So it was an emissionless engine according to the analyzers.
And one last figure.
But what you did have on that...
In my lungs,
yeah,
to some degree.
Yeah, but it had a broken vacuum tube, so it was sucking...
But I just said it worked perfectly.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay.
No, George, it's good. All science is good.
It even works when it's broken.
Yeah,
That's always been true. Yeah. You put that on like the bullet list of things, it's like... Yeah,
works when it's broken.
Right below 40%
Even when
mileage.
when
That's
it's
like,
sucking, it doesn't suck.
What was your nitrous oxide?
Okay, nitrous oxide, going
One
back.
last.
Okay.
I want to say one thing, Malcolm, and you're going to get annoyed at me. This is the same device that you have if you rotate that 180 degrees as an airbrush. So if you have a flux coming through here of a fluid, this will suck a fluid in there. So in this position, I think the people in London that are going to certify this, they need to change it because it's acting like an airbrush.
Yeah, I think what they've
I know,
designed
but
but I think what they get, no, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
But what I think that what they're their thing will be the same as what George did with his, which we proved with the with the.
It was with when we were doing it as
They
a
would
thermal
screw
port.
something in,
Yeah,
so there's
it's
no ability.
it's a blank
That's
cap.
the only way it should work.
It's a blank cap with a Teflon seal.
It's not my expertise. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a PhD in petroleum geochemistry. Yes, it is my expertise. And by the way, I invented all the current gas analyzing equipment in the world. So,
Unplug. Come on, finish it off.
Okay.
Nitrous oxide. Come on. Tell me your nitrous oxide.
let's see. Oh, here we got. No, it's 0.
10 parts per million.
Okay. So, and that's good. Why? Because the nitrogen is part of this equation. And the secret squirrel, if anyone reads my notes, they will find out what will get me killed is that we have a deal going with a very big tractor company because we can take the nitrogen in the air, split it, create it as ammonia and put it back into the ground. And there are people in this room that have the same technology that know that statement is true. It's an inconvenient truth. And it's in my notes. Right? Absolutely. Right? So, fraud, intellectual fraud, suppression of sacred geometry where everything connects. Time, space. Yeah. So the distance in miles, 2,160 miles of the moon, which is our timekeeper, is a zodiac sign. 2,160 years. It is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that the amount of seconds in a day is 86,400. The diameter of the sun. It is not a coincidence that the moon square is 864, 8,640, because it represents the square of the sun in alchemy represents the ether. The paradox is the circle represents matter, and the opposite mirror image is the sun square is 3,3456, 3,456,000. So if you minus, this outweighs, never done before. E equals mc squared is gone, right? It's 3,456, the sun square, minus 864 is 2,592, right? The melting point of hydrogen, which is alive because hydrogen doesn't exist, but the whole world doesn't know that. It's protium, right? So when the whole 8 billion people don't know their sun's made out of protium, not hydrogen, we're in trouble, right? So, but the fact is, do that equation, the 2,592 is 25,920 years, which is the precession of the equinox, 12 zodiac signs, 2,160 years each, right? Time. That's why sacred geometry is so important and Randall's work is so important, because what we forgot, because we vilified all of the, alchemies, that's just alchemy, and it's like, cold fusion, that doesn't work, all lies. Why do we not value our forefathers' knowledge when they had the same size brains as us? It's hubris, right, and stupidity. So basically, my point is that for our society to move ahead, you cannot have scarcity. If you have plasmoids, look at my direct matter to energy drive, look at Alchemical Science, which is a summary of it, right? Yep. So basically, what you've got is that the direct matter to energy drive means that your cell phone can run your car, your speedboat, just plug it in, last a lifetime, direct matter to energy drive using plasmoids. Full stop. It's known. It's been known for thousands of years. Solomon's Molten Sea was a plasmoid generator. The Ark of the Covenant was 5.625 square cubits, yeah? Times 64 is 360 degrees.
How far away are we, Malcolm? What do we need to get there? How far away are we to having that device?
Just keep following this path. Bob Greenier's, search for the truth.
Testing on the 28th.
Sorry?
Official testing on the 28th.
Official certification of this engine on the 28th, and also the support. That's why this community's here, because we make the change. you can't stay on the bench. I call on the 144,000 to come off onto the field, because this is our last game. You got you know, they want to reduce the world population to 500 million. That means we're part of the 7.5 billion that's going to be exterminated. So don't be scared about going forward, because you're going to die anyway. And nuclear war is, minutes away. So we bring the technology in. There's no need to fight over an oil field that was discovered in Ukraine. So you didn't have to destroy the whole population of Ukraine. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. So you destroy that population. I tried to put aid into Iraq. I went in there, I went through the war zones, I fought my way in, I fought my way out. I came out with a Bajor-like contract for the UN. It was stolen by the son of the UN Secretary General, and I never got the aid into Iraq. 1.4 million people died of that, because of that. I know what the system is, and I fight it, right? I don't stay on the bench. And this, you were there. So anyway, I thank you for your time, and any questions is great.
Malcolm, will we have an opportunity by tomorrow to see the bubbler going as well? Are we going to fire it up again?
If you fix it.
I will help. I can help.
Thank you so much.
And there you have it, the Sunday public demo and trial of the official test unit. So here's a quick recap of the results. Thanks to Steve Earle, as usual, for making these up for us. All right, now let's talk about the sabotage. We have some footage where Malcolm and George Lush were taking apart the retrofit to find why the bubbler wasn't working. So there was little updates going on. But essentially, a small part had literally just been flipped around the opposite way. This was absolutely no mistake. Malcolm has built enough of these things. This is a simple thing. George Lush attested to the same. It is ridiculous to think it could have been a mistake. Later on, George found 2 other points on the unit where the machine had also been damaged. One of the seals had been tampered with, and so had the wires inside the light bulb. So just ridiculous stuff. Here's the clips from where they found the first issue.
You don't have to undo all that. I just put it to the side. But anyway, that needs popping off. This one needs popping off. So now let's have a look. Look at that. We've got the camera.
Yeah, come back. Come and take a look.
No, leave it. Step back. Step back. Have a look. There's the evidence. It has been sabotaged. Right?
That was left in the back room of the hotel.
Yes.
And it wasn't locked.
Yep. Have a look. It's sabotage.
That would explain why it wasn't sucking and bubbling.
Yes. Because instead of being a vacuum.
Because for the.
They haven't given us
all right. Well,
but anyway. But thank you, man.
Well, I'll have to make a donation too, because I know.
Oh no. So this Venturi is on backwards here.
It is, yeah.
That is what we're...
I put it on.
And Malcolm put it on. The right way. And we left the door unlocked all night in that freaking room where the engines are.
The variant pin.
Was that it?
I think exactly the one that had the...
Is this somewhat of a common occurrence here?
Man, it's pretty friggin' common. Yeah.
Usually there's also a rubber stopper put up in here.
Mm-hmm.
That was Albuquerque.
Yeah, funny, they got everything else on film, but this will be on Alchemical Science.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't work. You know, unbelievable.
I'd just like to categorically state for the camera that Malcolm gets fucked with all the time. It's not bullshit. This is Jordan Collin from Alchemical Science saying this, and I'm fucking sick of it.
By the way, you did a good job on your talk, man. Especially for being jet lagged in your first time.
I'm still in
about 3 hours sleep. Yeah.
It's hard getting used to.
I understand. Yeah.
How many hours difference?
I get it. Yeah.
It's probably 12.
Yeah.
I've been to New Zealand, so yeah, it's rough.
It's a 15-hour flight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The main.
Mhm.
24 to you.
That's quite a bit. I went to India last month and 2 10-hour flights.
Yeah, there's a little something going on. It's not
I'll leave it on there. No, don't push it off. No, yeah. Stop. Yeah, I'll take it.
No, your videos really help me to understand, as you put, the esoteric nature of a lot of this. I'm just like, what?
Thanks.
No, it's seriously. Yeah, you do a really good job with your videos.
Yeah, no, it's really great to come just with feedback, man. You know,
No, seriously.
Yeah, I'm really quite touched.
Good.
People got some.
I just want to take a
Yeah, do you want me to then look to set the spanners?
Not big bit.
We've got one more off here, so I'm going to build this. Yeah.
I'm not taking too far anyway, just so he takes what I need to place. Right. Oops. So this one goes. This one in here.
So next, why was the engine left in an unlocked room? That sounds stupid, right? Well, it's because security flat out refused to lock the room up after hours. They refused George Lush and Malcolm on the first night, and let me tell you my own personal experience of trying to get the room locked up on the second night, which should help illustrate. I went and asked the security guard if we could get the key to the room, and he just said, no, I don't give it out. So I asked if he would be able to lock it up late at night after the repairs had finished outside, and he said, no, I go home at 11 p.m. and no one replaces me. So I asked him how I could lock the room up then. He said he didn't know. I told him to give me the key, and he said no. So I left and went to find the conference organizer. I told him security were refusing to give me the key to lock up the room and refusing to stay to lock it up himself, just to see if he could help me. He kind of just cracked a joke at me and told me we had security already and he had dinner to get to. So running on as little sleep as I was at this point, I just gave up and left. After that, George Lush did agree to go and lock up the engine with the security guard before he went home, as he left us no other option. But then, about an hour later, we walked past the door to the room where the engines were stored, and the door was just sitting wide open again, completely unlocked. So why did the engines get tampered with? Because, I don't know, everyone just point blank refused to lock the damn room, or give us access to a lockable room. That's all I can say. At least this did not help in the process. It's a pretty obvious point where it could have been tampered with. So a very generous watcher of the channel, I won't name him, but he's a new friend, he's a good guy. He actually slept outside the door with his gun on the first night, with the hotel's permission to guard the machines. But by the second night, we were all running on fumes and we needed to sleep and there was none of this. So at any rate, all of this made me bloody furious, to be honest. My room was also entered without my permission, despite the privacy sign, when I had Malcolm's cases stored up there on Sunday afternoon, and we came back to find the power cable and the battery for the gas analyzer missing in there. The cable later turned up again out the back on Monday, but it was just a shitty, spooky experience when you've got your wife there with you and all. I was very unhappy about it, still am, but I digress. What happened, happened, and it was all still a success despite that. So I want to give a shout out to Beckett, one of the conference organizers, for finding us another room to move into at about midnight on Sunday. That took the edge off a little. Moving on though. Next I'm going to play the trial footage from the next day on Monday evening. We see the same trial at the beginning, and another phenomenal result. It's all still with no bubbler working. We could never get it working again. There was a big plug in the pipe, apparently, or something in the... I don't even know. I'll have to talk to Malcolm more about it. And in the beginning, you will see that the engine itself, it began to get charged with plasmoids, as was predicted. And again, we've spoken about this in previous videos. It's not just making stuff up on the spot. The results were altered, and Malcolm explains this in the video, and they start again. So right after the footage that we play here, Phil does a couple of smoke tests to show the vortex action going on at the output of the Vajra. And we'll be going through that footage and posting it over the next week. A few people were looking for those tests to be done for some reason. Phil gives his analysis of how he thinks the Thunderstorm generator works at the end of these, which I'll state right now that I categorically disagree with, as does Malcolm. I'll post the footage of his tests once I've gone through it all. And we'll also give Malcolm a chance to respond to the bullshit that Phil was spreading at and before the conference at the same time as well. But I must say that I'm getting a little bit tired of giving a forum to these Weasley rat bastards, so my patience is wearing a little thin. That's all I'll say in that. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. It was you guys that told me it was all happening. The point of contention is that Phil says he believes the Thunderstorm generator is just a catalytic converter, creating an afterburner effect. This isn't exactly a bad claim. It doesn't really affect the rollout of the invention in any way, but it's a ridiculous statement to me, as it doesn't account for or comment on any of the other research done on this thing, particularly the SEM and macro and micro photography work done by Bob Grenier, as well as the radiocarbon dating and a bunch of other tests. We'll have official government certified tests in the next couple days that should clear this up a little. Bob actually takes the same angle to some extent too, though. But if you watch his face when he says it, well, let's just say that Bob's been threatened before. And a lot of people would probably be a lot happier if we were all to just sit back, shut up, and get rich off cheap catalytic converters and stop shouting that the Thunderstorm generator produces ball lightning or plasmoids. The problem with all of this is that it does produce plasmoids. They are why it works. I don't have time for too many lies and inconsistencies. I don't really like to cover this stuff. The last year of the story has already been open sourced. You can go back and see it all on my channel and on the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project channel. So is this really just a cheap catalytic converter? No, it is not. Maybe that's the story the mainstream will get at some point. I don't know. There are bigger powers than me involved in all of this now. But to you all, I offer this God-honest piece of advice. When you're driving your Thunderstorm generator car sometime in the near future, remember that it has a secret. It's a time dilation thunderstorm device that runs on plasmoids or ball lightning. There's no advantage to me making this claim. Everyone would prefer something easier to digest. But I'm making it because it's the truth. Resonance and geometry, conscious structured plasma. These are the tools with which Nikola Tesla worked. And we have these tools again now, thanks to Mr. Bendall. We can use these tools for other things. Remember that. Never forget how the Thunderstorm generator really works, no matter what others tell you. Plasmoids, thunderstorms, geometry, resonance, like all great inventions throughout history. Here's the footage of the Monday trial. I'll post more as I have time to process it with all of the above disclaimers. Enjoy.
Pour gasoline. Look, I pour gasoline better than anyone. I just had visions of it, like she gets the call. He did what? On a chair? And you're at what medical centre? No, don't fix him, he's dead. And then I'm putting the epoxy on, I was like, this is a linen shirt. If I get this, I'm so dead. I'll get bad enough if I spill dinner on a shirt. There's epoxy on it. It's like in that Bad Boys film, what's his name? The car's just got crushed. It's her. She knows. She always knows. I saw that.
I feel like it's my life. Basil Fulby show. Like,
oh God. Can I get you the point where you saw the temperature differentials?
Oh,
like you're saying it's 1,000, 800, 800.
If everyone can move back a bit, because we're going to start with toxic gas here, and probably form a little passage so the breeze can go straight through. It's going to blow. We don't want to be poisoning anyone. Yes, very selfish of me, but it's a sort of a self-preservation thing. Yeah. So.
Well, right now he's going to temper the control. That's what the write-off view is also.
Okay, could you just stop? No, just yeah, okay, just. So okay. So what we're going to be trying to do is that we've got these ports that will be used in London and are certified. So, and I do believe that when we did the test work before, that this may not be sucked. Yeah. Okay. Focus. Focus. Oh, camera. Action. Focus. 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 Okay. So I would like to show you, as normal.
Months ago, the first video I saw, we got a couple of them like, this is awesome shit.
Which video was it?
Okay. Focus. Focus. Oh, camera. Action.
Yes.
Focus. 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 Okay. So I would like to show you, as normal, and I'll grab this. We're starting off with this beginning point. Right now, I've put it on already, so the hydrocarbons is up simply because it's got its nose in the trough at the moment. So basically, but everyone can see why. But it was zero before. I have zeroed it out. Okay. Take that out of there. And that should go down fairly quickly. About 30 seconds delay in the pull through the pipe. So everything that you're seeing is 30 seconds delayed. So when I change something, we wait for 30 seconds so that it comes through. And then there's a concept too that it doesn't stabilise for another 30 seconds because some gas remains in there, So, and it's got it's got a little chamber in there that doesn't help, but that's whatever trap. Yeah. So basically, if we do from here, in theory, we'll get what's coming out of the motor now, before the thunderstorm generator, and then after. Yep. And I believe that what Bob was talking about was when this has a venturi on it, which this doesn't. Because when I put my hand on there and we're doing the test work, it was coming out of there. So, but anyway, scientific rigor. It's good to have people that think for themselves, and and any contributions are gratefully received, because it's the only good thing about doing a technology that really no one understands is that no one can claim to know everything. Yeah, so it's a perfect thing. So now is that gone down? No, not yet. I was hoping 30 seconds would have gone by. Is it going down? Oh, it's probably sucked it through there, but anyway. It'll go, it doesn't matter anyway, you know where we're starting from, the hydrocarbons we've got. Okay, so we can, George, if we any valves on this? We haven't put it on. Yeah, okay, that's good.
Didn't have the fittings.
Okay, now do we have this turned on?
It was turned on and it was working.
So when we started, you can just check that. And then I'll just run this and we'll just show you as it goes along. And basically then, what I want to do is change this pipe out. Oh, that was a good theory. Let's start again. We won't be changing this pipe out because we don't have any tools, we don't have another motor. But we can fix that soon. Okay, so let's go, George.
Yep.
Please don't sit there because you're right in the stream, and it is poisonous, carbon monoxide, and so I just want to make a little gap for it to sort of flow out and flow through, so that we just at least have a little corridor to help us all. Thanks for that, appreciate it. So okay, let's go, and we'll see what happens. quickly explain. Look what's happened. The carbon monoxide's dropped dramatically. That's the plasmoids in the engine. It can only be that. It hasn't gone through the Thunderstorm generator yet. Well, that's hot. Okay, so, but you've got your CO2's up 10%, your oxygen's down, the hydrocarbons are right up because we actually, it's not running that well, but what you can see is that that's having that effect. What I wanted to do is I'll start it up again, I'll get a printout from here that you've got on your phones anyway, but that's a big result because that's the toxic part of it. What was that up to? Can anyone remember? The 6% or something? Carbon monoxide?
10 on the very top number?
No, the second one down.
I don't.
I think it was about 6% or something. Anyway, so we'll run it again. So I just wanted to do this. Yes, so George.
Excuse me.
Right. Oh, wait. We've been going for more than 10 minutes, that's what we know. We'll go and zero it again, and we'll have another 10 minutes.
Yes.
In the meantime, I think that's, let's see, anyway, it's warming up, so that's good. And we'll move to this port within that 10 minutes, so that'll be good, yeah. And this will be zeroed off again, which will be good, and then I can print the zero, write in what we're doing. Do this test, and then go to this test, and then go to this test.
The top wall is quite temperature.
Three different ports.
The top wall is quite temperature.
Say?
There's something that's
No, the second one there.
Something's not right.
No, when we first started, it was dirty.
You know how they're, we just put all that stuff to get a picture of that.
No.
Something's not drawing from this side. It's probably blocked up.
That's part accurate.
I understand. No, there was
The other way. Which one's the wind? Oh, it's blowing that way, yeah. So it's good, yeah. So we're good.
And let's fire up. 3, 2, 1.
Now this has happened 100 times before. As soon as the engine has been charged with the plasmoids, the carbon monoxide disappears, right? Which we saw before on the test engine was up to what, 6.7, if I remember right, % carbon monoxide. This is from the engine itself, having not gone through the Thunderstorm generator. So now we're going to someone who's going to burn their fingers.
What are you looking at me for?
What's up? What's going on with the bubble here?
So
that's the trick. I flipped yesterday, Troy, right?
So no, there's someone we didn't.
Well, it was backwards yesterday.
Yeah, but there's a blockage in the pipe, so we'll just go with it. You know, so it doesn't make any sense, but neither does any of this. Right? So contested.
So the generator hasn't even kicked in yet?
So there's no bubbling going into it.
No bubbling going into it. But let's just do this before this runs out of time. What we have to do is, if I can get that off, which I will, and then we'll put that down. Yeah, cap it. Tighten it.
Yeah.
How is it really?
It's got a seal in its
Open it. Okay. And this is not a Venturi. It does not have a Venturi in it. So when we were measuring last time, there was positive pressure coming out of this. It's pulsing, which will be drawing backwards and forwards and stuff, and from here as well. But this is what was specified. So not my decision, but it's there. So what first of all we'll do here, and then first of all we'll do here, and then we'll do here because it's driving straight out from us. And then that'll give us the relative bits and pieces. This is going back to London for the main test work by the experts that are qualified to speak to this, because they have examined it, they've built this design from their experience, and they build these machines, and the government specifies so that we get the best thing possible. Having said that, we'll continue on research and development test work, because we know we have the crenulated iron spheres. We know we have the biggest deposit crenulated iron spheres in the world, to my knowledge, and we're the only people in the world, even if this didn't work at all, we are the only people in the world that had a quadrillion microspheres. Right, now if I get 20 cents each...
You sold them on eBay?
Mind you, you have a very big mic. I think the magnifying glass is going to be more expensive than this machine.
Maybe you can bead them into little necklaces.
Yeah. Okay, so now, before we run out of time...
It's almost a donut.
Okay.
So, Malcolm, are we going to see this going, or is that's off the table?
Okay, go.
Start.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
remember the fact that I'm not dead is
the smell.
standing 3 feet from the exhaust. I can't smell it.
Yeah, because this is more accurate than that, right? So in the accurate part of it, so it's just common sense. True. Right? And Bob Green has stayed in a room that you couldn't stay, your eyes would water after 5 minutes. With this, he was there for 8 hours. He had a test rig that a person was saying, sorry, which for doses. So a dose meter. And so we have all the right equipment.
No, the heat treated one is completely unique.
But all I can say is that it's a very good result.
Oh, I see. He was testing the top port instead of bottom port.
Yes, so now that's just testing.
And now he's going to go for a tailpipe test.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Right, okay, thank you.
Appreciate everything.
Okay, now let's start again.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
got beaten by our fail-safe system. But what I want you to notice is that there must be a charging on the engine because the carbon monoxide's going down. We've found that on every engine that we've run for any period of time that happens. That you get the carbon monoxide down, but you can see the difference between them. Right. Just common sense. Yeah. You saw it.
It was 10 times.
Right. So I know we're all liars and we're all deluded and we're totally mad, which you can tell by the fact that you're here.
That's where I started.
So I recommend the plead is guilty as charged, Your Honour, and I lay myself on the mercy of the court. That's right. So because who can, in their right mind, that is just black and white, isn't it?
That was.
I've been on my island for too long. Okay, I have. But isn't that? Yeah,
you bypassed the top and then ran it on the bottom, and it was a 10% difference. It was nothing, and then 10% carbon dioxide.
CO2.
Yeah.
There goes the deep state agenda.
Man, brother.
Because scientific method is that it's not proven until you can repeat the experiment. We were here, we would do it 3 times, as many times you like, right? Because we have 3 sampling points,
but also last time
on the direct flow. So
that's when I really started seeing the temperature separate with this one.
I'd have to look. Yeah, no, I'm going to mark this up. But we got it on video, so
there was a separation.
So I think it's just so night and day, but it's getting rid of the carbon dioxide, even though.
See those temperature separations? It was when you were
So basically, the thing is that coming through here
is when I saw this spread. Right now, anyway. It was like 30 degrees centigrade spread probably. But top to bottom, putting this on.
If anything, it's UV light.
Yeah. What's fantastic?
Not this time, but this time you have between the carb and the block. Last time I started to see that after the truck without running. Right.
Anything that was like that's when he thank you.
Inconvenient truth.
Yeah. When you put the rope lower, it's being I don't know.
Did anyone capture where I put these other nuts?
How much? I don't know. I mean, I was really, when I was like, I'm pretty sure it's
My son seems to think it's all the
So did the nut run off somewhere? Run off? Right underneath it. Okay, cool.
Because this
I saw like the spectrum to the wall.
The short one, I don't know. Well, so we figured out how, apparently they have a conversation. It's just a matter
I just excuse me, focus. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to have some quiet on the set. Thank you. Just for a second. To state the obvious, even though we've worked on it, the bubbler is not working. Right. So, best efforts. So, there's no suction. Yep. So basically something must be blocked there. So obviously, but just as well for all of us, still works, which is got to be the most Forrest Gump. You know,
So how many inches water content?
in some ways,
Run, Malcolm, run.
Thank you. So basically, what I say is that this is just an honest test, right? And we will be doing, the professionals are doing their tests. I've been doing this for 8 years. There's people there that have been doing it for 30 years. The people that design the machines, excuse me, the people who design the machines have specified this test. We've just done it as it is. We'll repeat it again, repeatability, so that we have a third time. The tests are simply as they are. And so basically we will be going ahead with further tests, but having said that, this was going to be go back to London, right, for that test work, and we will be running other tests. But the obvious thing is, we put this thing on, but I make a very clear statement, is that is a musical instrument. Any additions or subtraction from that will change the resonant frequency. What we proved irrevocably this afternoon with Sheila's work is that even one bit of resonance out and you lose, right? We all know that now. And so my plasmoid unification model is irrefutable. Therefore, this is irrefutable. Now, we need to get it to optimize it and get it to work. We need to make sure. We tried to get a valve on this too, a flat valve, which I've done before.
Malcolm, can I interject?
Yes, sir.
You know my aim is to not have the bubbler and the light bulb. Was it running? Sorry, I wasn't here with the light bulb and the bubbler working.
No, never.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
because
it works anyway.
So I want to do the test to see if it's working like an afterburner.
All right, and here are the results from the first gas analysis trial before the smoke test, displayed here again, compared with the control unit, just to recap. And here are the results from the test the previous day on the Sunday that we saw earlier, shown along with these as well.
Alright, and Malcolm just sent me a little bonus update here. The fuel efficiency trials, which didn't get done at the Cosmic Summit. I'm not sure anyone even asked. I didn't think of it, and the machine was sabotaged, so that didn't get done. But afterwards, Malcolm did go and do that because he knew everyone would be wanting it, and here they are, still with no bubbler or ionizer working, of course, so this is only less than half the unit, but we can see time in seconds. The baseline control test under a 2,400 watt load was 221 seconds, and then with the Thunderstorm generator, just the Vajra installed under the same load, 264 seconds. That's around about 19.45, 20% increase. Now, what would it do with the bubbler? What I've learned over the last year is that some things are just best left as surprises. So you build one and you let me know what you get. It should surprise you.
And that's all for this video, folks. Next, I will be processing the footage from Sam and Eli's DIY Plasmoid Chevy pickup truck trial and Philip's DIY generator retrofit, which he brought along to the conference. Stay tuned. I'm Jordan, a student of Malcolm Bendall. You're watching Alchemical Science, the channel where we actually show you everything and tell it as it is, rather than gossiping and trying to sell you crap. Much love. Thanks again to everyone who came out to meet us. To you guys building your own, there will be a DIY build guide version 2, don't worry. All in good time, my friends. Let me know what you learn yourselves in the meantime, and remember to send me your trial and build footage here to share. alchemicalscientist@gmail.com. Thank you all, good night.